Hey all, this is 012 Boku coming at you with another review, and sorry for the sun there, didn't mean to get that in your face, and hopefully it's still not, but coming at you with another review of The Cosby Show, Season 4. Yes, we're moving right along to Season 4, and like I said, doing the best that I can for you guys, and again, I know it's probably a departure from what I was doing before, because again, it's an older show. I'm sort of starting at the beginning with the shows because I think Cosby Show's first, and I don't know if I'll do things this way or whatnot, but I know I have classic shows and things, and I'll probably review those too, and we'll get those out there and some of my other shows too, but it's basically how I'm going to do it going forward with shows, and we'll probably do anime in between, movies, do a disc of that anime, and then maybe when I'm finished with an anime, I'll do an anime movie, and then we'll do, movies in between each disc and episode, because I have a whole ton of movies and things that I'm doing, and, comic book movies. Plus, like I said, I'll try to remember, but I'm going to do redos as I go around, but I just wanted to say that, because I know it's probably a little off-putting for you guys, and I know the reviews have sort of dipped slightly, but I mean, usually that does happen too, so I'm not as concerned, because I know you guys watch certain things, and then some of my older stuff gets picked up on, some of my newer stuff gets picked up on, so I know how it can go. It's a little back and forth, but I figured I'd let you know, since some of my stuff did grow exponentially, and I still have people on and off subscribing again, and again, thank you for the 147 subscribers I currently do have, but, it's just sort of how I'm going to be doing it now. And again, I know The Cosby Show isn't everybody's cup of tea, but it's one of my favorites, which is why I'm reviewing it. But with the current episode, as I babbled on there, which is from Season 4, Episode 8, Looking Back. And also, if you guys are curious with this episode and what this episode is, because it's a clip show, essentially, eventually, at some point, I probably will go back and redo the first 3 seasons, so you guys can have reviews of the 3 seasons as long as I remember them within their entirety. And I'll try to remember where I left off on these things and see where I've been with them. And, if I do redos, again, this is why I like the comment section. Mention the stuff down below, so I'm not hopefully repeating myself and doing multiple reviews of the same stuff I've already done. But, because maybe don't mind it being on there twice if I do a redo for a better review twice, or maybe sometimes 3, but twice is enough, 3 is a bit much, but doable. Anything more than that, it's like, yeah, I want to know if I'm repeating myself, guys, so put it out there if I am. But anyway, with the episode, which is Season 4, Episode 8, Looking Back, like I sort of said, it's a clip show, but it does start with a purpose. It has Claire Huxtable talking with their daughter over the phone, Sondra Huxtable Thibodeau, who is her and her husband, Elivn Thibodeau, got into a fight, and it was over something silly where, it was who was going to do the dishes around the house, and both Elivn and Sondra are working hard. I guess the wilderness store is open, and Elivn and Sondra are both working it, but Sondra is still doing the waitressing job and trying to support family and getting everything big and going and continuing on with that. So I guess they're still doing that. So there is a buffer for the city for that one, essentially, as that story continues. Sondra hangs up at Claire, and, Heathcliff and Claire were talking. All of a sudden they hear a knock at the door, and it's Elivn. Elivn comes in, and, he says he's just out for a walk. Elvin's playing it cool, and then all of a sudden, he just starts, breaking down because Claire and Heathcliff tell Elivn that they knew about the fight, and Elvin's like, oh, the life's over, the marriage is over, how do I do? I'm just, terrible, this is going to be it. And then Heathcliff, in a great response, is like, get a hold of yourself, boy. So trying to set him straight, and then this is where it becomes the clip show, where it goes through a lot of the things, I believe mostly from the first 2 seasons. There is a little bit of Season 3 in there, but it just shows you how, for me, how just really good the first 2 seasons, especially of the Cosby Show, were. And that's not to say Season 3 and Season 4 have been bad. They still have great moments, and it's still there, but I can tell in Season 3 and 4 they were starting to get more of the, like a little like sort of deadpan comedy and slapstick comedy that they've been doing. Maybe not in visual gags, but as far as story and character. But it also, had, more of the moral messaging and what this is. Because that's also in place in seasons 1 and 2 as well. But I noticed in 3 and 4, they really hammer in the moral messaging a little bit more to give clarification to the people watching it and how families can be and react. Which, again, nothing wrong with that, but it's just not... I mean, the laughs are not as super huge, and that's the one thing I would definitely say about seasons 3 and 4, just to give my 2 cents with that. But, it shows the clips well. It just shows how great the show's been so far and how it's lasted for this long, and it really cements it with this clip show, in my opinion. But as it continues, the other kids get involved. You have Vanessa, who's still at home. Theo's still at home. Rudy, they all come down and they all help Elivn try to work through his problems, and Elivn is actually feeling a lot better about being in this family, being with Sondra, having Heathcliff and Claire as, father and mother-in-law, or parents-in-law, however you want to say it, and, the family's sort of feeling really good about themselves as well. Sondra eventually does come back and apologizes to Elivn. Elivn apologizes to her too, and they're sorry they had to fight, and they're willing to work through it. And it's a very tender, touching moment with all the scenes and things that we've seen, how well this show has gone. And overall, just a very straightforward episode. Not really too much to mention about it. If I had to give probably the thing, again, Bill Cosby's got a hold of yourself, boy. I'd give a nod to him just for that, because that was just so great when Elivn was freaking out how, he just has to set him straight, because, it's Elivn. And I have to give it to Jeffrey Owens, who's, freaking out over this thing and just being way over the top. So, again, nod to Jeffrey Owens, Elivn Thibodeau there. But, it's essentially what the show is. It shows how it's been a great show and how, in my opinion, the first 2 seasons of The Cosby Show were absolute peak in great production. Again, season 3 and 4 are not bad seasons at all. I did enjoy season 3, and 4 has had some good moments as of yet. And again, if I had to say what are the best episodes of 4, I would say definitely the first one where Sondra and Elivn get the apartment. And, I would say the Halloween episode with their neighbor, Wallace Shawn, who comes over and is looking for the drill, and it's fun seeing them. And again, Peter's appearance on the Halloween episode, just running right out the door as soon as he goes down into the basement. Which, they have that with Heathcliff doing the little, horse bucking brawler thing where he's struggling to hold on to a very young Peter Kahara at the time. And, that's pretty much it for the episode. Have you seen this clip episode of Looking Back, as it's called? Have you seen The Cosby Show in general? Just, let me a response down below and we'll get this discussion going. Till then, 012 Boku. See you guys later.